I'm Loreen, and this is my big blue van. It's a Ram 350 Dodge. Come on in. Well, this table here I've had in my sticks and bricks for maybe 35 years. So, and I really wanted to keep it. So I did. And it fits in here quite well. You can see the running water tap. He had this tap there, so we just switched everything over to this side. And he had put this really sweet little sink in there. And I put that there. And I built this on, of course, so it would have more space, right? This is my running water. Ooh, there I go. But I have to say, I do wash dishes with vinegar. I've been doing that all along. It's been absolutely great. Only ever use soap if I'm really greasy or something. You can see the hose here. It goes along here and out through the back. And the sink drains here and down that same hole that the propane is vented out of. The Wave 3 heater, Olympian, it's fabulous. The catalytic heater is great. During this coldest weather, there were moments when I wished I had a Wave 6. This is an piece of IKEA furniture that I've had for maybe 20 years in my sticks and bricks, and I just made sure it fit. A lot of the stuff that I had in my house, I kind of built to make sure it would fit into the van, and it's fabulous. I mean, how can you not, right? It's great. I did this van build mainly on my own furniture and just whatever I could find fairly inexpensively, because I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of money. So hence you see the plastic from Canadian Tire or Walmart or something. But this cupboard here I had for many years as well. That's my food stuff. I use a CPAP. So this box is attached to here, and my CPAP is inside there. And right now I'm just airing out all my hoses because I used it last night. My CPAP, mainly I power through my two 125 amp hour batteries I have in the back. I have two AGM batteries and a 275 watt solar panel up on the roof. This is my charge controller and my inverter. It's a 300 watt inverter. Seems to work fine. It's getting enough air. Yeah, it works great. And all my plug-ins over here. For all my lighting, I basically, through Amazon has been my friend, is getting USB lights. Yeah, so that's basically my power for my lighting. This is my cooler. I don't have a fridge. I use a fishing cooler, so the walls are like this thick. And because I haven't been on the road yet, I freeze little bottles of water at my son's house, and I just interchange them as needed. But it holds everything. In fact, there's a lot of stuff in there that wouldn't even have to be refrigerated. I have a Jackery 240 which powers all my lights. This is a toilet. It almost looks like a real toilet, but it's a bucket inside. It's a medical toilet off Amazon. So my bed is only 30 inches wide. I like to sleep with my head a little bit raised. I've had this foamy, a 4-inch foamy, for years and years at my house. And then for almost, not quite as many years, I had this 2-inch memory foam thing. And then I had this wedge and the foot wedge made specifically to fit the 30-inch bed. And my son actually built the bed itself. But this is my water, mainly my water. I carried in gallon jugs. My curtain, as you can see here, I've covered my windows in wool blankets, as well as the reflectix, and decorated with stuff. Wool has been fabulous. I mean, in my bed, I have, for the winter time, I have 3 wool blankets inside my duvet cover. In the summertime I had 1. Probably my best buy from Amazon is these little USB fans. They're clip-on. They're variable. Yeah, the front is storage. This is all storage right here as well. I have reflectix for the front windows as well. So a thermal curtain here and a thermal curtain on my back window as well that I pull up. this is kind of my personal area. There's a picture of my mother and my father and some crystals. Okay, there's the water pail. An owner from way back, my son was pretty sure had his propane tank up there, his 20-pound propane tank. But when he owned it, he used it as as gravity-fed water. These are my batteries from Eco Solar. Yeah, they're AGMs. They're great. I've had such good support with this van life, living in the van. People comment about how brave I am and how strong I am. A lot of people said I couldn't do it, but not everybody can, right? Yeah. I've always wanted to travel and see different cultures, and I raised 3 kids single-handedly, and on very little money, so that opportunity basically wasn't part of my life. 2.5 years ago, my niece went on a 5-week trip around the States, like basically around the whole States. And then she made a comment to me when she came back. I can't remember the exact comment, but I do remember the bell going ding. I got onto YouTube. I watched every night hundreds of YouTube videos. That's what I did. I researched, writing down all kinds of notes, everything, tons and tons of research. What am I going to do when I turn 65? I don't want to be working anymore. I really don't want to work. So I have to set up a lifestyle that I can not work. So I bought the van for $1,000. Do you know what I always tell people? My favorite benefit is having my home wherever I go. That's the best. If I go in other people's vehicles, I have to think, okay, what do I need to bring with me? Oh God, I don't know what to bring with me anymore because I travel around. It's always here, right? Well, one thing about the financial benefits I can say is because I'm very low income. I do have money coming in through WorkSafe, but it's still not a lot because I'm a low income person. And if I had been living in my house, and I was only paying $865 and rent, on the wage that I'm living on now, it would have been really hard to live and have to put out $865 a month. I haven't been traveling very much because of the concussion. I go to physio and all the WorkSafe crap. I can't really go too far. So I haven't been driving a lot, but I only spend about $300 a month on gas. Of course, it's an old vehicle, and I'm a stickler for keeping my vehicles running well. So I did put quite a bit of money into getting it up to par. Of the previous owner kind of let things slide a little bit, not a little bit, a lot. Yeah, the challenges, my goodness. Of course, the winter challenge is the moisture, the condensation. And I have to confess, I actually kind of ignored it for a couple of months. And then at one point I realized, oops, maybe ignoring it isn't going to mean it's not happening. So I discovered some really bad condensation and some mold starting to grow. So my son again, my lovely son, helped me to get all the nooks and crannies, like way up in, it's the edges that get it, right, as we probably know. So the edges up here got it, the edges back there.
What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's thinking about transitioning into van life?
Well, for me, I can say for me that I never had any qualms at all about it, about living in this little 60 square foot space. I've always been interested in tiny houses. I mean, I've been looking at those for many years, the tiny house movement. So the living in a tiny space never ever was never even an issue, even before moving into the van. So I knew I could do it. Like, I just knew it would work for me. But for other people, if they're not sure, I would have to say do it for a while before you spend the money on it, if you're not sure.
Do you have anything that you do because of your age that you think is different because of this lifestyle?
I did set up this van to work with me, with my body. Well, you definitely have to, if you got any physical issues, you have to take that into account. And you can do that a lot in the actual build. You can make it easier for yourself. But I think more so it's the woman part of it than the age part of it. I feel like I've never had trouble. but I'm more aware of what's going on around me, or I try to be. But one of the places I go to is just a little parking lot, maybe fit 3 cars in it at a trailhead. So, and it's the end of the road, and so I love it there because it's completely quiet. It's in the middle of the forest. But people, because it's a trailhead for people going where they walk their dogs and whatnot, people do drive in, and I'm there I'm not that far from houses or anything, but I'm isolated from those houses, right? So if people drive into that parking lot, I'm always keeping an eye on what's going on and who they are, and yeah, but I've never had any trouble. This trip yesterday was my very first trip to Victoria. I've never taken my van over the Malahat before, and part of me was really nervous about it, and also because of the snow and everything, and driving in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell myself that this is what I want to do. That's what I'm going to be doing someday. I want to drive across Canada someday. I have to get out of my comfort zone. It's been fabulous. Because look at this, we're doing this interview. Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Van Loving Loreen, all one word.
Hey everybody, it's Forrest the Filmmaker. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Alternative Dwellings. If you want to see more, playlists are popping up right now where you can watch all of our archived episodes. Or if you want to see new ones, make sure to subscribe because they premiere at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every single Monday. Hope to see you guys there.